What's going on, you guys? So I'm going to talk about 4 approach discs today that I personally use and I would recommend to anyone else out there who, maybe they don't like throwing a gator, maybe they don't like throwing a zone, maybe they don't like throwing a heart. These are the popular approach discs that the top players in the Pro Tour are using. And we can see that these discs are very important. Eagle McMahon, he created his own approach disc. And make sure to stick around till the end because the final disc will surprise you. And before we start, an approach disc is pretty much anything you would throw from, 100 feet to 300 feet. And they're pretty much utility discs, but they can work off the tee as well. So they're really useful for upshots and short drives. So anyways, let's get right into it. Now the first disc I want to talk about is the Pro D Soft Magnet. Now this one, you can see right here, is pretty old and I use it in my bag quite often. I like it for hyzer flips. The magnet itself is pretty stable, but it fades at the end, so it's a really straight. So this is something great for, like a wood shot that you still need some fade, but you really want it to go straight for 90% of the flight. I will say that this is more of a touchy disc, but for me, it is pretty stable, how I throw it at least, and I can get some decent flights out of it, and I really like the magnet. I've had it for a long time. One of the very first putters I ever had. The next disc is the OS Challenger. Now, I don't know if it has to be Jawbreaker, but this thing is incredibly overstable. It's actually kind of shocking. But the thing is, it's a slow disc, so it's still pretty reliable. It's not going to get away from you, but this is definitely something that, even a beginner can throw on a 200-foot hole. They can throw it really hard and they can know it's going to finish left for them if they throw it back in. Or they could even start with an Anheuser sidearm and it'll probably come out of it because this thing is pretty beefy. I definitely recommend it if you need a slower approach disc. Now, disc number 3 is something really special, and for the longest time, I think I never even really knew about it. I think I knew the name, but I never threw one, and it is the R Pro Hydra. So, really, this thing, pretty glidey, and it has a little bit of fade. This thing will actually skip for you. You can see in the video clip that I don't really have that great of drives. I was trying to throw the exact same shot every time just so you could see, except for the last backhand throw, which will come up soon. This thing does have some skip on it, so really, I like this for off the tee, and it's great for approach shots, if you're scrambling. This thing is very overstable, and you can really come at it like this, like you're throwing a driver pretty much, and it's going to come out of it. It's definitely underrated. You never see people throw them. And another thing, it does float in water, but I will say if you can get your hands on an older Hydra, it's almost like Star plastic. It's not really Art Pro plastic. I'm not really sure what to describe it, but this thing is pretty awesome. This is the one I actually use in my bag, and this is kind of like the backup one that I just got. Alright, now our 4th and final disc, I'll have to warn you, if you look it up online, people are going to say it's a terrible disc. I'm going to have to disagree. This thing is definitely one of the most useful discs that I carry around. Honestly, I don't use it in my bag that often, but if you're going to a course where there's a lot of wind, this is definitely the disc you want to take with you. It's insane. It is the Double D disc from Quest. Now, this thing is as fast, if not faster than like a Destroyer and a Katana, so speed 12, 13 or something like that. But I think the thing that makes it fly the way it does is it has extremely low glide. So this thing is just gonna die. So a disc I would really compare this to is a Monster, but this is a faster Monsters. Monster is basically a disc that you will just throw it, it's not gonna skip, it's just gonna die in the ground. So this thing is a little bit faster, it has extremely high fade as you can see in the videos. And when I really rip on it, it still is not flipping up at all. You could throw this as hard as you want, and the craziest thing is this is a 163 gram Double D disc from Quest, and it's still probably the most overstable thing that I own. Honestly, this is really underrated, and the people online who say that this is the worst disc ever, or they don't like it, I'm pretty sure they didn't really know what to expect, and maybe they thought this was a distance driver. This is definitely an overstable utility disc, and it's so thin I can like barely have any of my fingers under there. It is super sharp, super sharp. This thing is really cool, and I definitely suggest, if you're not sponsored, get one of these in your bag. It's going to be the most overstable disc in your bag. You will not have to think about it. And seriously, if you're going to be throwing this and you're not an advanced player or anything like that, really, this might be your first disc that you do a sidearm with, because I know a lot of people, they come over and Hydra on sidearm. This thing will definitely come out of it very quickly. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below some approach discs that you like to throw that aren't as popular as, you know, the ones you normally see on tour. I'd love to see what you guys throw as well. But make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.